get the energy going. I think we're ready now. Yeah, so let's start the 40-minute, not 40 minutes, 1 hour timer. Alright, start looking through it. Abby Dyer, Joseph Scott. Oh, Joseph Scott, yeah, got a good relationship with them, so they should know all my criteria. I suppose I should just briefly explain my criteria. It is 3 to 5 beds, family, property, where the vendors, for whatever reason, need a certain price that the property just isn't worth in its current condition because it's just going to take too much money to do up. And then obviously the investors are giving them very low offers. Even the family buyers, they might give the right sort of number, but they are put off because they can't afford to do the work. So that's the properties that I look to sweep in and do an assisted sale or lease option on. If you want to know more about those, I'll be posting a lot more about that soon. At first I was kind of like, oh, do I share this strategy? I need to just share it. It's what I'm all about. So I follow all my socials, particularly my Instagram and Facebook, to learn about assisted sales and lease options. Also because I didn't want to post stuff before knowing about it. Anyway, so this is Joseph Scott. Can I scroll through some photos, Joe Scott? Or do I just have to look at one photo? It's the issue with these. Do you know what I'm going to do? Sorry, I'm just decided. 4-bedroom, semi-detached in HA8. If I reckon it's worth it, I'm then going to have this open, have a property search open, and I'm going to search for them and get them into Property Engine straight away because the estate agency websites, as you can see, are never as good as Property Engine is, or even Rightmove is a lot of the time. I do think that's a bit high for a 4-bedroom house in that area, in Edgware. That's my feeling on that one. So I suppose I've got to decide. But like, I literally can't see any photos, so if it's in bad condition and everything, then that is a bit too high. But let's put it in here. All I'll do is go HA8 because they're not giving us the exact postcode there, unless I can sort of get it from the door. Oh, 6. Oh yeah. Actually, I can just do the classic maps thing, which you'll see in a minute is not necessary on Property Engine. But today I'm venturing into the estate agent emails, so I'm going to need to do this type of, I was about to say old-fashioned thing. It is for me anyway. I used to do this about 4 or 5 months ago before investing in Property Engine. So it was 6 Richmond Gardens, and I need a postcode. Thank you very much. NW4. No. Ridgemont. I made an assumption there. Ridgemont. Ridgemount. Ridge. Oh, I'm struggling here because that says Ridgemount with an E. This is why it's so annoying to do this sort of method. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to do what I was going to do originally. It's got HA8 in there. I'm just going to filter it for, look how much better this is, right? You don't even know. Whereas, but I'm going to include Joseph Scott. So only now I'm just showing Joseph Scott. And then I'm going to make sure that it's a 4-bed. And I'm going to make sure, what was it on for? 775? I'm going to make sure that it's on for at least 700. We should be able to get it from there, surely. Just come on the market. What? This is unbelievable. I can't even see it. So it's on their website. It's on the website of Street. That's Joseph Scott. I don't know why I can't find this. Property engine, you need to build in you need to create a Chrome extension where I can go from my link from here to see the address and go, they must have the data, see the address and go, oh, click here to view in Property Engine. Oh my god, I'd pay like another £5 a month maybe. If I did this a lot, this estate agent link thing, I'd pay another £5 a month on my Property Engine subscription just for that. So yeah, I think I'll suggest that to Jamie in due course. Right, I'm not having any luck on this first one, but it's alright, we won't give up. I mean, we can at least look at the floor plan. And perhaps there's a brochure as well. So the floor area of 182 is large. A lot of that is this garage. Seems like a very large garage, big, almost the same size as the reception room. I do often see garages and think, is that needed? Is that needed? Because you've got this front driveway as well. But I think people with a bit of money, they appreciate that. They appreciate having their car in there. But I don't think garages will be as much of a thing in sort of 20, 30 years' time. No brochure. And I can't find it from £700,000. Joseph Scott, HA8. Perhaps it'll be on Rightmove. Okay, I'm going to park this one. My instinct was that that's a little bit too high anyway. But I will send her an email and say, and ask her for lots more photos. It's fair. Does remind me actually, there's one property in my pipeline, which when we get through these, I think I'll go back to my pipeline and show you guys. There's one property in my pipeline where, for like months, there was this estate agent saying, no need for photos on this property that had like 2 external photos. I was like, can some way we just get some photos so I can get some idea. And then they've actually listed with another agent who's allowed photos. So that agency's shot themselves in the foot there, sort of saying, oh, we can't get the vendors to agree to more photos because it's too cluttered, blah 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 blah. And then the actual photos, they're not even that bad. And this other agent's just gone, right, we need photos. Not 2, don't be silly, we need photos. So yeah, much rather go through that agent. Definitely depends on the agent. 3-bedroom apartment. Okay, this definitely isn't going to be right. Joseph Scott. Yeah, I told them my criteria, and that's just usual. I don't look for apartments or modern places, and that's very expensive. Bedroom apartment, NW9. Actually, no, in fact, that's yeah. This is one of these new builds. Okay, nope. I think I will reply, and I have a template for that. So just thinking whether it's right to share my template for my criteria on YouTube. Possibly not, but I will put a little note. I put together an email to all the agents I knew, but just before Christmas, saying thank you for working with me. Just as a reminder, this is my criteria. Let's work together in 2026. So they should know. But I think it's just one of them where they've got limited time, and they have people. They have a list of people to send X amount of properties to, or they just, I've got this property, right? Let's send it out to our list. So I suppose more relationship building is what I need to do, and just make myself clear that this one absolutely isn't right. Do that later. But yes, I do have an email template. I think what is fair to say is that I'm happy to share all these templates with anyone who's working with me on a deal. And that's not a problem. I have a co-sourcing group, and I can even. Oh hi, hey, good evening, Adisa. Oh, Adisa's here again. I feel like I should message Adisa from time to time a little bit more. How are you? It's nice to hear back from you again. Hope you had a good New Year and Christmas and all of that. Yeah, we messaged each other when you joined the Dealers Club, didn't we, Adisa? And then both of us kind of forgot to check in on each other. Hope you're good. Can't remember if you're in my co-sourcing group or whatever. It's only for those people doing open to assisted sales lease options, because that's the deals that I send through to people. And if they send through deals to me, it's like a BRR. I'm not going to take much notice. So I think we concluded that it wouldn't be right for you, but I might be wrong. Because if you're not doing another strategy, that's fine. I'm still happy to help and support. But my co-sourcing group is for those doing the same strategy as me, actively working on deals with me. But anyway, I'm guilty of not messaging Adisa recently. So how are you? Hope you had a good Christmas. Right, Matthew Seraphim. I can't read. Dear Elliot, please sign the attached brochures. Cooper's Residential. I have little faith in this one. I think I've only had one or two contact points with these guys. So let's see. Okay, that's interesting because it's fairly nicely done. Not derelict at all. I don't know what this is. This looks like those kind of boards you get at school where people pin their drawings to it. Well, primary school, wouldn't it? So it's that kitchen that would be off-putting to people, not by the looks of it, the rest of it. And I like that for an assisted sale. You're quick in out. You quick in, sort the kitchen out, maybe knock a wall through a new kitchen. You find the one main pain point for people coming on a viewing of why they wouldn't want to why the property's not selling, right? Why people are not jumping in and buying it. I think it's probably that alley kitchen. Me myself, I hate alley kitchens. You open that washing machine, and I hate washing machine in the kitchen. You open that washing machine door, and you can't even get through. Imagine if you're in a bloody wheelchair, it's impossible. So, yeah, I think that's the only thing wrong with that place. Based on those pictures alone, having said that, don't think it's telling me the price. Oh, it is 535 in Harrow. If comparables are at 6, and if we get it at 5, that might be an option. So what I'm going to do is try and... They haven't sent me a link or anything, have they? What have they sent me? What can I use to find the... What's the street? Tintern Way. Yeah, so we're going to do this on... wait, what's the name? The number... It's a Tintern Way. Oh, right, so it's not saying the number. Let's have a look if I can see it. The door was open at this point. Is that where the kitchen is? I don't know. No, that's just a sideboard. Okay. No, I'll just do. Oh, I'm being silly. That is the full postcode up there. Okay. They don't often do that, do they? Right, so HA20RZ. I can go straight into property engine with this one then. HA20RZ. Let's go. Oh yeah, but that's because I filtered for Joseph Scott only, remember, 700k only. Let's take that off. Let's take that off. Let's take that off. Wow, only 2 properties in the whole postcode I've got for sale. I suppose it is a specific postcode, isn't it? And we've got, right, so the other one that looks, no way, is that the same? Hang on, did I read 535? It's actually 575. Offers in excess of 535 here. And in here it's saying 575 plus 4.5%. Have they put the price up? Wow, they've put the price up. This is interesting, and I never knew this. Perhaps I'm naive, but do they send it? Do they set it at 535 for a day? Yeah, my brochure literally says 535, and now it's on the property market for 575. To most people, let's say looking at the property market, residential buyers, but are they giving me, because I'm on their list, a good price? Or is it a typo? Either way, that's why I'm saying 535. That looks like quite a good price, actually. Like, 3 bedroom, I can get around 500k, that's alright. 575, no, probably not. But wow, I think that's fascinating. Either it's a typo, but there's some evidence here of a price increase. November. They sent this to me on Thursday, the 8th of January, so I don't know, maybe it's a typo. But if I come in and offer 500, they're like, but we're on for 575. I'll be like, no, you're not. You're on for 535. I could like legitimately argue the case that you've. Maybe these estate agents not too great. Right, anyway, we're on for comparables. It's 98 square meters. Back on property engine, back on the warm and dry homeland. I've seen this one before. 105 square meters, a bit much. Not really comparable. 100 square meters, but that's a bungalow. 9 square meters. This one looks possibly comparable. A little bit smaller, but not too much. And worse, and sold for higher. So that's interesting, but I'll have to say that it is 0.4 miles away. It's here. Perhaps that's just a better postcode, I don't know. Because my one, it's right next to the school. This one's right next to the station. Perhaps that improves things. But yeah, it's not really a good comparable for end value because it's not refurbished. And that's it. Sort of run out of options there. So there's no comparables on this one, unfortunately. So I might have to bin it. But regardless, perhaps I should thank them for sending this through and giving me a special price. And it is the right type of thing. It's the right type of thing. Should I bin it? I don't know. I don't know 100% if I should bin it. But the issue is recently sold properties I can't see any that have been nicely done up. Even that one said well presented. So it indicates to me that in this area, maybe it's a little bit more deprived than others, and there's not that appetite for doing the property hunt. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna leave that one, but I will. Do I reply to them? I might just be honest and say, what I think. Well, there's nothing wrong with honesty. Um, Sometimes I conflate being honest with being somewhat unprofessional. Because you think of a professional just knows everything. But actually, I'm going to be honest with this guy and say, look, I can't find any. Um, uh, can't find any sort of recently sold to back up any margin as an investor. And that's just how I've through. I think it would just be nice to see, a reply to these emails as well. I've been conscious that these property emails have been coming in, and if I don't engage, take it for granted, they'll stop coming in when I might think actually I need them, or thinking further outside the box along those lines. It might be the case that and I should have this up on my phone to see the live chat. But it might be the case as well that even if the emails are complete garbage, which so far they've not been great, but even so, later down the line, I'd maybe find one of my own accord that is with that agent who sent me a bunch of properties that I really like. There might just be some doubts in my credibility at the back of their mind, that I've previously dismissed all their recommendations, or just not even dismissed is fine, not even acknowledged them. Right, I can now reply in the live chat to Adisa if she's still here. Wouldn't blame her if she isn't, but I do think the most interesting thing we found today is that price, whether it's a typo, whether they're trying to give me a better deal. I haven't mentioned it in my message back to Matthew. I just want to find out if there's any appetite in that area for a kind of refurbishment. If he wants to be all pompous and sort of saying, "I have your photos." Oh, please don't tell me that was there in the last Jason Scott link. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Like the first one that I said. And I also, have you got any internal photos? Oh shit. So, deleting this email. If they use Microsoft, that'll work. If they don't, that won't work. It is pretty unclear. Do we analyse this one again now? Because, okay, 775 is a bit high, but estate agents always put punchy things up there. The reality is this is a large property with a great deal of potential that does need everything done again. I mean, so I wanted to zoom in on the swan. Anyway, I do need to stop right away. Since I started doing my live streams, I get distracted by the decor. Business. The issue was I couldn't find the property anywhere. So if that email does get through to the internal photos, worst thing, because I need this on property. Ridgemount Gardens, Edgeware. Let's give that another go in Google Maps, get a postcode and look at comparables, even if I can't actually find the bloody property on Property Engine, which is unusual, but I can't remember the last time I've had that issue. Is that it? HA8 9SN, and I'm looking at number 6. Yeah, that's the right property. That's all I wanted. Not even if I put that into Rightmove. For those of you who just joined us, I had an issue with this on earlier in the stream. Oh gosh, it's a property I looked at months ago, but Rightmove still saves the hyperlink for that. It's just we are 4. We are. Yeah, let's just look. HA8. Oh, that's not gonna be specific enough. Let's do the price thing. Should be on for 775. I'll go 7 to 8 and try and find it from there. Jesus Scott, whoa, good marketing. I do like him. Joseph Scott, they're alright. They're nice people. Pretty straightforward. Straightforward people. It's the best thing, really. We've won? Yeah, I just can't see it. Perhaps, and this is another interesting thing, they've released it to one of their list before. And this, by the way, these are the agents that I'm working on my the deal I'm working on at the moment. Still working on it. It's the closest I've ever got to start selling a deal. So they trust me now, I think, this agent, which is great. So they might be sending me stuff before it comes on the market for everyone else. I'll just check that postcode again. Chain 8 9SN, and nothing, absolutely nothing for sale in that area. Yeah, they've released it early to me. Guys, that's really cool. Benefit of working with agents. Start releasing things early to you. I mean, that email's come in for today or Friday. So they've released it early. Giving me an early look. So yeah, I think it is worth me following through and checking that out, to be honest. Right. So here's what we're going to do. in a half-mile radius. We're gonna kind of we're gonna do we're gonna do some kind of comparables, I suppose you would say. But I don't want to do. I wanted area data. Is it eight? It's HA8, it's 9SN. I want to go sold properties, and I want to go last 12 months, and I want to go for bedrooms. This is 4. Only 4, please. So yeah, bloody hell, there's quite a range there. Because yeah, you can have this, Ellesmere Avenue, lovely little 89 square meter 4 bed, and then to be honest, where we're at is a 180 something square meter one, and this is 167. It's sold for 1 million, so I'm interested in that. That's in September. Yeah, and it's just, and here's the cool thing, like, sounds wrong, but like, as doing this strategy, it's like, well, what can you get away with? You see, these haven't been so recently done, but the walls are fine, the carpet's acceptable. What has been done is a 20 grand kitchen. That is lovely. But has it had is it a huge open plan thing? Is it a huge extension? So can you just get away with a banging 20 grand kitchen, sorting a few bits and bobs out, and then suddenly it's worth 1 million? Can you? Can you? Because I'll be honest, the 7751 that Elliot Scott have sent me, and that's a nice utility. Yeah, that 7751 was not nice. And look, it's amazing. But this property has sold in September, as is. As it, maybe they were going to do some works as well. But this is sold for, yeah, I mean, you'd want a new bathroom and carpets and things, but this sold for over 1 million. Yuck! Oh my god! And this sold for over 1 million, and I bet you the one next door maybe 1.2, 1.3, and because it's had all the works, but it's had 200 grand's worth of works. This one hasn't, but it's still lovely to someone. So how much work would our one need? Just to remind you, this is our one, which is nearby there, and it's some similar size garden, I would say. It's apparently bigger, but I do accept a large deal of that is the garage. So I think this is comparable at 167 is about right. Because I don't think it's going to have it does have a garage, but it won't have as big a garage as ours, will it? Surely, garage to, yeah, was it 2.5 to 6.7? Oh, raining outside now. What's our garage? Is bloody huge, isn't it? Yeah. So I think that slight comparable, looking at maybe 160, 170 square meters, this is about right. So I can't add it as a comparable, I suppose, but I can do it manually. So write down, it's not even on the market. Write down Ridgemont, yes, Mont Gardens, and say that the comparable one is, and I'll just put the postcode of this one, is NW73SP36. Salvage Lane. Sounds like a fragrance advert. Sauvage. Maybe that's why it sold for $1 million. Okay, and then we've got this one here, 157 square meters. No issue with that because probably doesn't have as big a garage, so more of it is house. And yes, I know I've seen this one before. Lush. This is the full works refurbishment, right? But it doesn't even do better than one that just had the kitchen done. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the kitchen frickin' sells it, and the rest is kind of just optional. Like these have so much nicer bathroom and bedrooms and more modern looking, but that doesn't have a great deal of value. And a rather clouded office slash gym. I bet that was used once, as is always the case. Oh, shouldn't do that. It's a bad habit. And they've done the full works as well in terms of going into the roof. So yeah. Yeah, I know this one because this is a comparable I used with the deal I was just talking about as well. So, yeah, okay. So comp 2. The first one, the Sauvage, is 1.015 mil, I think, and this one is 1. Very simple. This is, yeah, literally sold for 1 million. It's an NW73DY 21 Derwent, and it's at 1 million. Yeah, so 775, and we can maybe get to $1 million here. Maybe we can get to $1 million here. We've got the square footage. However, we've got to also see this one has a square footage 156 and it's 775. There's me crossing my fingers, and I hope you all are, that this one is a lot shitter. That already looks a bit shit. So, oh, but it's not though. What the hell was that on the outside? I'm no structural engineer, but what is that? Chocolate sauce? And you know the thing here? Perhaps we got a little bit excited because this is HA8, so this must be closer to ours, and it's gone for 775. So there's no margin for our refurbishment. Yeah, 775. Perhaps it's a less desirable postcode. I will say this is not as nice a refurbishment as the 1 million one, but yeah, right. Let's note this down as a comparable. Potentially scuppering our deal. It's fine. Look, I don't mind ruling things out. I can clean my inbox. What's a little bit frustrating because I haven't got the property on Property Engine. I can't see exactly how many miles closer this one might be. But just because it's got HA8, I just suspect that it's a bit closer. It's a less desirable postcode than NW7, and therefore this is sold for the asking price of the one that hasn't even been refurbished, Joseph Scott. My instinct was it was a little bit high. So yeah, where does that leave us? Scratching our heads a little bit. I know it's a bit smaller, 156. I'll also look at 151. Let's solve a 775. Right, this is a sort of, some elements are old, some elements are new, nice new spotlights. Kitchen, it's not old, but it's certainly unusual. I won't be changing that. suppose that's nice. We can keep that. What do I think of that? That sold for 760. Is that comparable? Wow. Sold to SDC, so who knows? Sold to SDC? How is the market? Sold in April. Estate agents are funny with the way they do things. It might just be to make that statistic look better, to stick it back on for a bit, then sold subject to contract. And again, here it's area. I do think it's a largely area because we've got another NW7 one that's 950. So here's a HA8 one that's also 950 though. So I've got to take this all into account, right? So just to save time, I can see that's refurbished. I can see that's fairly well refurbished, yeah. So that one, my comp 4, spin W7, 3 SP. Selvage. Interesting though, that modern one. Sold for less than the one. Do you remember the one that had like a nice kitchen, but the upstairs was more modern? You can't guarantee that. Oh yes, because I put this amount of work into it, therefore the end buyer's going to see that. No, they're not. No, they like it or they don't, and they pay what they're prepared to pay. So property investing is definitely not easy. So I'm doing it with other people's money first. Not my own just yet. That's got 950, and this one very similar. But yeah, decent comparables there. But normally when it's in Property Engine, you click a button, it will tell you exactly because it will refer back to the property you're looking at. Unfortunately, this listing isn't there. It's only here at the moment, so this is not going out to Rightmove, so I can't do it at the moment. If I could see the distance these are from my property. I mean, I can have a sort of guess, in fairness. By the map. Richmond Gardens. Could I see that? I need to count. Hang on a minute, I probably could. What's it near to? God, I've got to have a headache today. Well, it's near to that roundabout self-storage. Ah, up here. There. Right, that's the one we're looking at. Most recent listing. Removed. Property is no longer on the market, but they've sent it to me for 850, and it was on for offers over 850. They've sent it to me saying 775. Are these the exact same? These are the exact same photos. God, it's interesting. It's really interesting. It was removed in December, but they've sent it to me. Yeah, they've been struggling to shift this one in fairness, and they've sent it to me. No, they've been struggling since 2024. Oh my god, okay. And they're putting it through to the investors at lower than they were. This offers over 850 and I sent it through to me at 775. Okay. And now we can do the comparables thing. We can do this properly. So glad I found a way to get through to it. I knew it must be there somewhere. Or they hadn't put it on yet. Turns out they've taken it off and... Yeah, anyway, so we got it. Oh my god, my head is very sore. I'm gonna do 15 more minutes. Reach for the aspirin. I know I kind of worry. Try and do things naturally. Well, I can. Probably need a nap. Anyway, yeah, we've seen this one again. Yeah, all right, let's do it properly now. So, right, this is the closest. Okay, so that one's the closest. So, yeah. So I was saying, oh, I reckon NW7 the more desirable one might be the furthest away. No, actually, this is the closest, and it's got 950. So perhaps there's still some promise yet. Yeah, so right away, I'm going to save this comparable. Oh, I do hope now that email saying where are the internal photos doesn't get through. Doesn't matter. Life's too short to be embarrassed, isn't it? That's why I do this and stick my stupid mug on YouTube every week. Life's too short to be embarrassed. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'm struggling because you've got the two at 950 and 1 million. This one's come back again. That's, yeah, it's on the edge, 0.48 miles away. Where is it? Down there. One close to Mill Hill. And where was this one? Is there. Then you've got this one, which is like the same, like only 10 or so meters squared less. Yeah, than the other two. How can I explain the £200,000 less that this went for? It must be because he's up there, and I don't know, freaking terrorists live up there. By the way, if you're from that area, just don't be a snowflake. I'm being silly, but why is that area so much less desirable for what I could say is actually, apart from the chocolate sauce, a nice flip? I almost don't want to use it as comparable. Anyway, the ones that didn't pop up, I should cross out now, so there's no sign of that one where just the kitchen was done. There's no sign of that one. And there's no sign of... No, that's it. Yeah, so it's those other three that I wrote down. This cheapy one up there. And then the 950 and the million. I'll be honest, the 950 is the most solid one. Because the 950 is... Why am I using my finger? Mouse. Or the 950 is there. That's solid, I feel like, and that is such a nice flip. I feel like saying to myself, that is the most you could hope to achieve with this one. 950. So, the other two go in here, perhaps nicer area close to Mill Hill, here, Hull, apparently. It's literally the same type of property. It's gone for so much less. £200,000 less. Maybe I should stop reading into individual property sales so much. Perhaps they wanted a really quick sale. They'd done a flip, they run out of money, they need to sell the house. It could be that. So the one I want to rely on the most is 950, but you know, ideally you want three comparables. But hey, we're not going to get it this time because all the other ones are far too small. So yeah, let's go with that then. So this is the comparable 3. So if I average it out, these are uber conservative, I'm going to come with an M value of... I know this is silly, but I believe I do have calculator saved here. Yeah. I'm going to go 775 plus 1,000, a million, I'm just taking off a few zeros, plus 950. Divide it by 3, we've got an M value of around 908. I think that's fair. So maybe oh gosh, maybe to finish this live stream, I might jump into the analyzer. With a rough thing in my head, but I'm still not sure this one will work, because I do think that property, I don't believe there's I don't believe it looks to be any structural issues, but my goodness me, does the whole thing need to be redone really? Maybe you get away with some of the floors, but you know, floors get scratched every time. God, it's just everything. That horrid ceiling, everything in the kitchen, horrid. Do things need to be knocked through as well? Could you argue that? Well, you definitely could. Having a nice separate section there is good. Maybe it's a drawing, but I can't see how the frick you get into that toilet. Don't tell me you have to go through the garage. That's the most stupid thing. It's -2 outside. It's 9 p.m. on the 4th of February. You're like, I need the toilet. Got my hat and gloves. Take them off again. So there's things left to be decided about the layout. Possibly knocking through here. Possibly actually, these days, I think it'd be more attractive to have a big, maybe to avoid less sort of structural fiddling around. You could have a door through here, big nice long kitchen here with an island there. That's your sort of kitchen dining massive space. That becomes your second reception room. It's plenty big enough these days, a little reception room. And you've got 2 reception rooms in it and a large kitchen diner. Why is it zoomed in so much? You see what I mean? So perhaps not much structural stuff, but rerouting the kitchen, certainly. It's £5 probably, or £3 at least worth of sort of plumbing stuff. But the rest of it, I think you could avoid any other structural things apart from allowing yourself to go to have a wee. It must just be the crap drawing, because I don't know, it all seems wrong. What you want is a little door here that doesn't knock the toilet over as you go in, but the toilet's this end, and you have a little door. So yeah, I need to reroute, pop the toilet there, door there, surely. Bizarre. Upstairs, shower and bathroom. Yeah, no need to change that. Just modernise it. So I would be thinking with all the VAT and stuff and everything, and it might be somewhere in the region of somewhere between 100 and 150. I'm not good enough to know just based on that yet. Any more accurate than that, but for the sake of it, I'll put it in as 150. Yeah, we'll finish this stream with this little. What I would do next is do a proper breakdown appraisal, but it takes me about half an hour to do those, so we're not going to do that today. But flip a statistic cells, go into the template, and we add. What did we add? We had about 908 as a. So I think it's fair to put this in interested, actually, in the interested category. So we'll just go back to here. We had 908 as a resale value. Again, I already can know from 775 is we're never going to be able to get it 775. That's way too much. 700 might be possible if the refurb comes in more like 100 than I think outside fine. Yeah, it's an internal modernisation and in my view rerouting the kitchen. 150 is probably a bit strong. Probably a bit strong. But let's see. Well, that's a pipeline. I am somewhat interested. And this is, I think I've got labelled this, it's an agent referral. There we go, it's an agent referral. Brilliant. I love one of those. I haven't had one of those in a while, hence why I'm doing it today's live stream. Okay, so we go into here, and all I'm literally going to do is put 150 here. I'm going to put, is that 1,500,000? Okay, no, we're not creating 3 more properties. And then we're going to have the previously agreed price with the vendor at 775 for now. It was on for offers over 850. I think that's crazy. They're saying to me, go on, 775, put an offer in. I think we're going to need it a lot cheaper. Our resale value was 908,000. Minus 66 grand. We're still miles off, aren't we? I am being uber conservative because, well, could this garage be converted into, I don't know, there's more cost. And this is, hang on a minute, 140 square meters. Now I'm annoyed. 182 square meters. Well, that's a bombshell to end this live stream on, isn't it? Are all the comparables I've been looking at irrelevant? It does look like a bloody big place. It looks more like a 182. But now this is saying 1. What? It can't be 140. 182 on the uploaded floor plan. Fuck that mistake. Right, this is fine. It's a big property, as I was saying, and it might go for more than 908. Done really nicely. But that price is definitely can't stay at 775. So this is worst case scenario. You lose 66 grand. Investors, please ignore this. This is part of the filtration process. I'm not going to be sending any rubbish like this to you. This is a worst case scenario. Best case scenario. Okay, it's a little bit bigger. We saw that one that was 167 done really nicely. 167 square meters done really nicely. That achieved 950k. Okay, ours is a little bit bigger, right? And let's say we did it just as nicely. Perhaps we can get, this is very optimistic, but perhaps we can get 970k. Very optimistic. And also being optimistic, that refurbishment, 150 maybe is a bit strong. I'm not going to go down to 100 because we've just said we're going to make it really, really nice. So I'm going to go to 125. Perhaps that's a little bit fairer. Okay, and now we're making 12%. So we're making some money back. Now let's be more optimistic. Let's say this 775 is just not right, is it? So, okay, so in an optimistic smart scenario, where does I look for 50% ROI, I'm not interested in 20. The sister sales we're talking about, they're complicated to negotiate, a little bit risky for the investor because they're not owning the property. By the way, if the contract's watertight, which it will be in all the deals I'll set up, there's not a great deal of risk, actually. Again, it's not my money, is it? So who am I to say? Okay, so where do we need it to be for our 50% return on investment? That's 30% return. So if we get negotiated down to 750, more than doable. In fact, I'd be unimpressed with myself at the end of the live stream if I only got 750. 725. That's close. 720. In the optimistic case, I'd at least need to get them down to 720. So what I could do is phone them up and say, and if they won't even have a conversation at 720, bin it, because I probably will have a refurb cost at 150, and therefore that's not really good enough, and I probably will have a resale value of 908. Let's call it a reserve price, our worst case scenario. And in our worst case scenario, as we are now revisiting it, I will need the property to be, no, still too expensive. Be a miracle to get it. Yeah, it needs to be. I don't think the refurb will be this much, but we would be talking, yeah, 640. Maybe we need another big discount off it. So we're too far off there to even waste my time on it. What I'm going to say is call them to see if they'd what, not even, I'm not putting a figure forward, that would be stupid, because if I say, yeah, 700's fine, actually look at this worst case scenario. It's worst case scenario, we need it at 640, so 700 is not fine. But yeah, I can go and do a proper appraisal, but I don't want to waste my time on it yet. I think, or should I do a proper appraisal first? No, I think before that, I think we've got to, because even on the good appraisal, on the 100 optimistic one, we needed them to be at 720. So I'm going to just call them and see what sort of offer they'd entertain. And just say, this is not an offer, this is just what sort of figure would you entertain on it, because it does need everything done. And say to them, I don't believe there are structural issues, but aside from that, it does need everything done. We're only going to get around 900 to 950k back on it, based on recently sold properties. And it does need everything done, so it's going to be at least £100,000. We're gonna need movement. 775 is not going to happen, and just see if they can, because I do have a decent relationship with them. Hopefully they'll spit something out there, and if they say, well, look, we're going to struggle to go below, let's say this, we're going to struggle to go below 730, 20, something too high, I'd be like, right, we'll leave it there then, because I'll be honest, I'll say it's probably going to need to start with 6 on this one. I can say that, I won't put the exact figure forward. I'll let them speak first. Yes, cool. Right, I did have some more. I probably will keep going through them, but outside of this live stream, I'll give you your Sunday evenings back. Well, I'll say that, there's no one watching. Anyway, in the next live stream, oh no, that's not how I finish these. I don't really know what's going to happen in the next live stream, but what I do at the end is make some goals, right? So I've been streaming for an hour. So one of the goals was to call Joseph Scott. The other goal off the back of this was to reply to that Finley chap who sent me an apartment. and I suppose the third one would be to finish this job, finish going through estate agent emails. Yeah, it's been really nice to do something different today than the usual going through my own pipeline. It's been really nice to yeah, have the chance to look what the agents have been sending me. What's my verdict on what the agents send? The hit rate is not as good as on my specified searches that I have in Property Engine, where I have the exact criteria laid out and it's just sending me stuff that fits the brief and sending it me when it's reduced or when anything changes on it. Estate agent emails are not like that, but I can't expect them to be like that because they're not dealing just with me and I'm just dealing with me. They're dealing with loads of investors and buyers of all sorts. So that is a downside. The upside in it though is if you do interact with it, you'll build trust with these estate agents. And the moment they do find you something right, which might be this 7751, I have my doubts, but it depends how open to negotiations they are. If they find something right for you and you're there on it, that is I think trust levels high. I shouldn't feel like I need to please them. Like I'm gonna reply to this Finley guy and say that's wrong. Respect my needs. I'm not gonna go to Joseph Scott on this one and say, yeah, I think 775 is a really fair price. It's not about pleasing them. Just replying and engaging is the pleasing done, I think. But if they do send something that ends up working, that is that mutual relationship built. It's not just me going and finding something and telling them what I need from it. It's they've found me something and I've gone, yeah. Rather than me finding something of theirs and trying to get them to go, oh yeah, well, I'll accept you as the buyer. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's worth doing. Yeah, I don't think it's your first priority as a deal sourcer. I think it comes, but it is quite important. I think first, I don't think you can just. Well, some people I'm sure do, but the other option is to just forget agents, just see that as a logo, and just go, right, I need to look at this property, I need to look at this property, I need to look at this property. But the thing is, to buy the property, you're going through an agent, so and you need to treat them as human beings to build a relationship with. So I think it'd be a bit foolish to, if I said, well, I know better, which I do know better exactly what I need. But there's no good just finding great property deals if you don't have the trust with the agent that your competition has. Your competition might be doing what I'm doing, and or certainly better than me. Rory in the Deals Club is very good at this. The competition has a better relationship with the agent. They're probably going to get the deal, even if your price is 5, 10, 15, 30 grand lower. So yeah, let's wrap it up there. Positives, negatives of it. It's not your first priority. It's not been my first priority, but I think second good way to search. Definitely better than just scrolling Rightmove, as always. So yeah, I'll do those three things. Reply to Finley, call Joseph Scott about this one. If it sounds like they're around 700, we might be able to find a deal here. So if they softly say 700, then I might be able to softly get them down to 650, maybe. All right, and then I'll yeah, finish what I've shown you today. I'll just keep going. My headache's sort of gone. some point I might need to lie down, but I'll keep going for a little bit. And yeah, see you all next week. Got some, if anyone's still watching at this point, got some good content coming. Can do some more content on sister sales and leash options. I've got a Facebook group now dedicated to discussing those topics, which I'll be promoting on all my socials. For deal sources, investors, or people just curious, it's a place to discuss this because I think it's a very apt time for these types of deals, particularly lease options. I think because capital appreciation in London is slow, but who knows? Sorry, no, that goes against it. Anyway, ignore what I'm saying. But no, the reason is because more people are looking for yield in the short term at the moment. That's what I'm hearing. But I'm going to networking, another exciting thing. We're going to networking thing in 2 days on Tuesday in Stratford with a guy who's Motil Islam, bloody expert in these options, so that's exciting. I'm a bit tired, but I am genuinely excited by this. It's so cool. A few more videos on my YouTube coming as well. My latest ones, my goals for 2026, please check it out. And I'll be doing some more talking about viewings, talking about property engine, talking about just all aspects of deal sourcing and how it's going for me. Alright, see you then. Keep sourcing. That's a good one, isn't it? It's like Strictly.